Michael Jordan, Coco Chanel, Mother Teresa. Is it possible that these enlightened historical figures were total scumbags? That's what we try to decide here on Scumbags of History, where we pick through the dirty underwear pile of lesser-known facts about some of famous people society has put on a pedestal. We're your hosts, confirmed scumbags, Mateen, Stewart, and
Brittany Schmitt.
we're comedians, not historians. We're probably going to get some stuff wrong from time to time, so don't use us as a reference in your research papers. Let's get started, scumbags.
Let go.
Let go.
I'm talking about scumbags of history. Talking about these people suck ass. They were pieces of shit. They still pieces of shit. Scumbags of history. Scumbags of history.
Let go.
Are you ready for today's Scumbag of History?
Are you ready to rumble?
We are ready to rumble. Today we are talking about Miles Davis.
Miles motherfucking Davis.
Yeah, jazz musician extraordinaire, known for his improvisational prowess. Unfortunately, when Davis improvised on his own life, the tune wasn't quite as pleasant. So we made this renegade trumpeter scrumper through your bathroom sink to the smooth jazz, and let's go through the rough and tumble life of the one Miles Davis.
Daddy.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
What do you know about Miles Davis?
Nothing.
You don't know anything about
He's
Miles
a
Davis?
musician. I think he plays the trumpet.
He does play the trumpet.
I literally only know that because you just said that in the intro and you gave it away. Is he hot? Can I see a picture of him?
He is. I don't think he's an attractive
a
man.
lot of how I feel about people.
Well, that's a young. That's a
Okay.
young Miles Davis.
All right, so Miles Davis he's not
He's a
ugly.
handsome- But like towards the end of his life, he got very like.
Like rough and tumbling.
Yeah, that's like Miles Davis,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
The end's not looking so good.
Yeah, he had the curl.
The
They had a-
Jerry curl.
He had a movie that.
Jerry curl.
Yeah, it's like a Jerry curl.
Yeah.
He had the dirty, and he talked like this. He was like, "Yeah, my name is Miles Davis. I talk like this." That's me. He had a movie that they made about his life.
Okay, so he played the trumpet.
He was a trumpet player.
He probably played with a bunch of bitches, and he probably played with people's hearts.
Well, he's a musician.
And yeah, so he did all that, and he probably did drugs.
Yeah, he did a lot of drugs, a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, he looks like he found it.
Yeah,
he looks like he was the first guy.
Like he was
found
born
it.
with cocaine.
Like it's like he found cocaine and then he never had another glass of water again.
It was just-
he looks like dried out and like very
yeah.
like yeah. I mean, I don't want to say ashy, but I will.
He does look
like
ashy.
his ashiness wasn't because he was dehydrated. It was because there's coke all over
all
him.
over his body.
Yeah,
He had a movie. They made a movie about his life, and Don Cheadle.
Oh, I saw Don Cheadle recently at the Kevin Hart show in
Yeah,
Vegas.
do you remember that movie? Oh, that's
No.
is that actually Don Cheadle? That's Don Cheadle right there playing Miles
Don
Davis.
Cheadle's a tiny little peanut butter.
He is a little man.
Tiny
Yes.
little peanut butter cup.
So Miles Dewey Davis III
Great name.
was one of the most influential and innovative American jazz musicians, trumpeters, and composers of all time.
Did his family come up with the Dewey Decimal System?
No, they did not.
Do you know that for a fact?
No, I know that because his middle name is Dewey.
Not his
That's
last name.
that's a pretty dumb middle name.
I like it.
But he's MDD3.
It
that's-
just sounds good though.
Miles
That's all that
Dewey.
matters. Miles
Dewey
Dewey.
Davis III.
You know what? Do he do it?
Do he do it? He do it. He was
He be doing it and
he
doing
was
it, doing it now.
he was constantly reinventing himself, and his style changed multiple times over the 5-decade career, where he collaborated with basically anyone who was anyone. So he made music with everybody. You want to make music with Miles Davis. He was like the hot shit.
He was like the Pharrell.
Yeah. And the thing about him I loved about him is he would play the trumpet and he would turn his back to the audience.
You know, it says a lot about how talented he is as a musician that everyone would want to collaborate with him when he played the trumpet.
Yeah.
That's like not the fucking hot
'Cause-
instrument.
yeah,
You
'cause
know what I mean? It's like playing the clarinet.
When you think of trumpets, I think of Louis Armstrong. I think
You think of trumpets, I think of failing out of band class.
well, Louis Armstrong and Dizzy Gillespie. You heard those names before?
No. Yes. No.
Yeah. Dizzy Gillespie is the trumpet player. He had he bent his trumpet one time when he fell, and he kept it that way.
Okay.
He's famous for his big jaws. He has my favorite song is Salt Peanuts. Well, Miles Davis, he
Wow,
created
That sounds like a really bad song.
Salt peanuts, salt peanut. It goes exactly
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
I'll have to play it for you.
Do they play it at baseball games to sell peanuts?
Salt peanuts. Probably. It probably comes from baseball.
Yeah.
Miles Davis created cool jazz, baby. It's cool jazz of the
'Cause
'50s.
the cocaine is cold. baby.
Yeah, a lot of heroin.
A lot of heroin.
A lot of heroin. Cool jazz of the '40s.
Heroin and coke are quite different, though.
They are, but they both did it. I've never.
Yeah,
done
what's it
either.
called when you mix those together? That's how John Belushi died.
A speedball.
Speedball.
I don't know why I know that.
Because you did one last night.
No. The white will get you hyped. The brown will get you down.
Yeah.
So he created cool jazz of the 40s and 50s, culminating with his genre in 1957. His album, this is his most famous album, The Birth of Cool. And I know you said you never heard of Miles Davis, but when you hear it, you know that you've heard it before. You know it's Miles Davis.
No.
Yes. It's
No.
like dun 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 dun
No.
dun dun dun.
You would be alarmed at how little I know.
I am not.
Well, I'm just saying. You just said, for a matter of fact, I would hear it and I would know.
No, I'm
And
pretty sure. I think you would know.
I think you don't know how much I don't know.
I guess I don't, but I feel like you should know who Miles Davis. Like you should know at least one Miles Davis song. I think everyone should know at least one Miles Davis song.
Okay.
I'm gonna play one during the break, and you're gonna tell me. You're gonna let the people know if you knew the song or not.
Okay.
After overcoming years of long heroin addiction in 1954, Miles went through his most innovative 20-year period, including the 1970 album "Bitches Brew," which is pretty fucking dope. It's like you just listen to that album and you can. There's no words, but you can just feel everything that's being said, especially if you're high, which spearheaded the jazz fusion movement. I'm not a big jazz guy. I think it's my least favorite genre of music.
Yeah. I'm not a big anything girl. Like,
No,
I
you
don't
like
really
ratchet hood rat shit.
Yeah.
And here's what you don't know about Miles Davis. You don't know anything about Miles
Everything,
Davis.
yeah.
But Miles was born to a prosperous family in 1926. His dad gave him a trumpet at the age of 13, and he was hooked. He'd go out into the woods, listen to animals, and he would imitate the animal sounds. Like
okay.
cuckoo, cuckoo,
Yeah.
boo, 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 boo. That's just me imitating the animals.
Yeah. No, that wasn't Miles Davis just there. I could have swore.
Miles
when
was
you did that, I thought, oh my God, you're right. I do know Miles
Boo,
Davis.
boo, boo.
Now that I just heard that, wait a minute. You're triggering a childhood memory.
Miles played professionally in high school and convinced his dad to send him to the famous New York City music school of Juilliard after he graduated. So
So you said he comes from a wealthy family.
Yeah, a prosperous family. In the to be black,
And
to come
prosperous.
in 1926,
You killed some people.
Yeah, you had a lot going on for you. That was just to cover up the plan to enter the avant-garde music scene. So he wanted to go to Juilliard. He got into Juilliard, but he only did that so he could go to New York and just throw himself in the avant-garde music scene, which he instantly did. He played with the talented musicians in Harlem nightclubs, where he developed the basis for bebop. Mm-hmm. You've heard that word before, right?
Yes.
A fast improvised, it's like improvised jazz, like so it's like the precursor to what rap became, freestyle rap. It was like freestyle jazz.
Freestyle trumpeting.
Yeah, he would. It was a jazz style. It was dominated. He dominated the genre in 1950s. Miles underwent surgery on his larynx to remove a non-cancerous tumor. So, yeah, you need your throat.
For a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To play the trumpet.
Yeah. And to get the cocaine drip out of there.
Yeah. So when he went through this, he went through that surgery. That's where he got his his raspy voice from.
Oh, okay, nice.
So if you ever hear Miles talk, he was like, yeah, I was doing this and I was doing that, baby. Yeah, when I was doing that heroin with them women. That's how he sounds. Yeah. You don't care about Miles Davis.
No, I do care. I just am like, am I also supposed to do that voice? I
No,
can't do it.
no, you can't do it.
I can't do it. I am just one of the women that he did heroin with.
Yes, known as the Prince of Darkness, Miles' public image was defined by his temperamental nature and his ability to be unapologetic.
Yeah, he's on cocaine. Have you ever done cocaine? You're going to be temperamental and unapologetic. Those are the two things. And then you also might have a business idea.
And you want to talk about everything. He was so good at improvising because he was doing so much drugs.
Right.
After being injured in a car accident in 1972, he took a 5-year break from music. It was a really bad car accident.
Oh, that's a really long
Yeah,
break.
it almost
so.
killed him. And he returned to music in the 80s, focusing on a weird, like, jazz, dance, rock music. It's like that, like the precursor to like John Tesh is. That kind of like...
I don't know who that is.
It's like that weird jazzy, like, you know, the NBA song.
Like, what year are we in?
So we're in the 1980s right now.
So it was like disco.
No, it's not like it's weird. It's like you've heard it
Or was
before.
the disco 70s?
Discos was like late 70s. And
So then the 80s. It's
disco
also
died
like
in the 80s.
Disco died?
Yeah.
Tell my stepmom.
It died in the 80s.
Just kidding. She's not my stepmom.
He died of pneumonia and respiratory failure.
He died?
Of the
We're already
age of
jumping to his
65.
death?
Yeah.
All right.
A year after receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys.
Respiratory failure.
Yeah. Because he smoked copious amounts of cigarettes.
So many cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cigarettes were like, you just were born smoking back in the day. Miles was outspoken about the widespread racism he encountered as a black man in America, including his police brutality that he experienced. Have you ever experienced police brutality?
In that, no, of course I haven't.
But you've been arrested before.
I've been arrested.
I've never been arrested.
But he put my handcuffs on too tight, and
you cried?
I got really upset, and because I was trying to break out of them. I literally thought I was going to break out of them, get out of the cop car, and run away. That was my big plan.
Is that how drunk you were?
Yeah. That's
what
how
did you
drunk-
blow?
Well, I blew a .18, but I think if
Shit!
if they would have waited, because right before I left the bar, I took like 5 shots of Jameson. I got pulled over immediately after I left the bar. I think if they would have waited for it to get into my system,
You would have been like a 2-3.
Yeah. I was fucked up, but my handcuffs were too tight, and I was like, "Can you loosen these? These are way too tight." And he's like, "You're arrested. Like, you're supposed to be in pain right now." And I'm like, "They just like don't need to be this tight." And then he loosened them, and then I tried to break out of them. I was like willing to break my hands to get out of them.
Wow.
I was like, I'm gonna break my hands and get out of these. And then I'm like, I didn't really think this one through, because I was in the middle of the Arizona desert. I'm like, I'm gonna run into one cactus and then
Oh
he's
my
gonna
God.
tase me. So anyway, no, there was no police brutality in.
He was very nice to you
my
when he
life.
arrested you?
No, he was not nice to me at
Oh,
all. He was
okay.
like, "You're a fucking piece of shit and you're going to jail."
But he like rough you up. or
But he
touch
didn't.
you.
Yeah, he didn't punch me.
Yeah, I had a cop pull a gun on me because he thought that I was like 16 and I had a flat tire, and I took my jack, and someone thought that my jack was a gun. So when I was waiting to get my tire changed, the cops came behind me, and I got out the car thinking that they were there to help me, and they came out.
Silly
I know.
black man in America.
I know.
The cops aren't for you. Tricks are for kids, baby boy. The cops aren't for
and
you.
then they came with their guns drawn, and they like threw me in the car. And, like, I peed my pants. I was so scared.
Yeah.
And, gun to my head. Like, I was thinking, like, if I had my cell phone at the time, if I came out with my cell phone, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
But they searched my car. They didn't find anything. And then I just remember asking them, like, why did they do this? And then they told me, oh, someone thought you had a gun. They got in the car and left.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's crazy. So my ex-in-laws, their friend was driving home drunk in South Carolina, white guy, driving home drunk from the bar. And he was like really close to his house, got pulled over. And then he just was like, fuck it, I'm just going to my house. But like the cops were following him. And because he didn't pull over and he went to his house, when he got out of his car, the cops fucking kicked his ass.
Wow.
Like, white privilege is dead in the South for now. Like, it was like both eyes, like neither eye would open, teeth gone, like just fucking brutalized. But I'm like, some other shit happened.
Yeah.
He said some shit,
he said
popped
some
up.
shit.
Yeah. No, but these guys, no mercy, got the fucking bar out and just started.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is on progress, baby.
Yeah.
Progress that
Police-
white guys are getting their ass kicked now.
When they start brutality in people, they don't stop. But yeah, Miles was very outspoken against the widespread racism, and he encountered as a black man, and he talked about police brutality that he experienced. So yeah, so I played some Miles Davis for Brittany.
It's a miracle I'm still awake. It's so boring.
It's chill. It's jazz.
Yeah, you can tell he was on heroin.
Yeah, it's fucking jazz. So Miles,
it's not jazzy jazz. It's fucking
cool jazz.
sleepy jazz.
That's jazz. That's jazz, baby.
That's jazz.
It's cool jazz.
Baby.
So Miles Davis' creativity and innovation majorly shaped the course of the 20th century's music that Brittany absolutely fucking hated. This man changed music. I play it for her. She's like, yawn.
It's
I want
like
to put me to
taking a
sleep.
Xanax.
Yeah, but he's on this show, so we know he's not an angel. This podcast would be boring if we just talked about all the good things that people do. So let's get into this scumbaggery, much of which comes from Davis' very own autobiography, because dude knew how to tell on himself. So he was a snitch. So on
himself?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he took he didn't hide.
Yeah.
the
So
fact.
this
So-
is why I like him already.
So this is all the shit that we have right now. This all comes from Miles Davis's biography. Okay, Davis had a prolific love life. He liked to fuck. He was a legendary
fucker.
Yeah, but as a teen, Davis was too preoccupied with music to think about the ladies. He said, "I didn't pay much attention to the kind of shit that just seemed to make them bitches more serious about getting me into bed." So. So, as a woman, if a man ignores you, does that make you want him more?
Oh my God, ignoring me is my kink.
Yeah.
Right now I'm on day 6 of being ignored and I'm planning a family.
Yeah, I get these messages from Brittany all the time. I'm like her fucking shaman, her fucking.
He's my
guru.
life coach. He's my assistant. He's my manager. He's my friend. He's my.
There's a lot that takes for being Brittany.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I love it. So guys, if you want a girl, if you want to get into a girl's pants, ignore her. Fucking ignore her. She will.
But it also works the other way around. Like if you're in a room with a guy and you're interested in him, what you have to do is ignore him.
Ignore him.
Ignore him because we're all unwell.
Yeah,
and we all just want the people that
damaged.
don't want us to want us.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a parent thing. It's like my mom didn't love me, so now anyone who doesn't love me, I'm like, why don't you love me? I'm obsessed with them.
Love me.
And then they just kill themselves like my mom did.
Yeah. So Miles,
Like I would rather die than give you love. That's exactly
hilarious.
what happened. My mom's like, actually, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
So Miles ignored everybody, and he said it made the women want him more while he was a teen. But then his whole life changed when he met Irene Berth at the age of 16. He writes, "She had some real pretty feet."
Oh, he's a foot fetish
Yeah,
guy. Okay.
I'm always a sucker for pretty little feet.
Yeah, he's a foot fetish freak.
Outside of her being pretty and hip with a
You
good
can stop
body,
doing his voice, you know.
her feet is really attracted to me. So he just mentioned her feet 3 times.
Yeah, he's a foot fetish whore.
Yeah, and Irene quickly got pregnant with their first 3 kids. So he met her, he
Yeah,
knocked
boom,
her
boom,
up.
boom.
Do you like feet?
No.
No.
I want a guy to have nice feet, but I'm not like sexually attracted to feet.
People are really into feet.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I'm not really into feet.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
some
like
people are. I
looking
don't know
at
what that
feet.
is.
I don't like sucking feet.
Okay, well,
I don't like feet in my face.
Miles Davis did, so.
Yeah, he's a foot fetish guy.
Yeah.
Our baby joined Davis in New York in 1944. But according to The Guardian, her presence irritated him, and she was forced to move into the flat of jazz singer Betty Carter.
Yeah, after he got her, he was done with her. That's how it always
Yeah,
works.
so he was like, "Yo, I'm fucking tired of this bitch.
tired of this.
I needed to get out of here. She's a better."
She just has a little hole in the ceiling that she sticks her feet in. He could just,
He just sucks her
just
toes?
sucks her toes. Yeah.
Have you ever had a guy that like was really into your feet?
I mean, maybe someone tried to be, and I like kicked him.
And you're like, "Get the fuck
Like,
out
get the
of here."
fuck out of here.
11 years later, Davis would go to jail for refusing to pay Irene child support. So he was a deadbeat dad.
Mm-hmm.
He eventually paid it to keep her off his back.
Yeah.
That was his quote. "I paid it to keep her off my back."
Yeah.
Then in 1978, he'd go back to jail yet again for refusing to pay child support, this time to a different girlfriend.
Okay.
So he had multiple
So he has a
girls.
pattern.
Yeah. Davis went to Paris in 1949 and had an intense love affair with musician Juliette Greco.
That's exciting. Good for him.
Yeah. Let's see what Juliette Greco looks like.
I mean, Miles Davis looked like shit. So if he pulled anything at all, she's
Okay.
all right. She's a little snack.
She's a little French.
Little
a little
snack.
French.
Little intense love affair.
A little croissant. A little chicken
croissant, a little baguette.
He fell into heroin habit. He was so depressed he fell in love with heroin. It got really bad. He writes, "Shooting heroin changed my whole personality from being a nice, quiet, honest, caring person into someone who has a complete opposite and addiction to the drug. It was the thing that drove
Him
me."
and him alone. Nobody else has ever had any complaints about heroin. Heroin is usually widely regarded as a drug.
He said heroin told him into the complete opposite person who he was. I mean, that's what it does.
Yeah, he's like, heroin made me addicted to heroin, which is crazy because I didn't hear that about heroin. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he was so driven to get heroin, it just ruled his day. All he wanted to do is get heroin. He'll do anything not to get sick. So if you don't do the drug,
Right, you get sick.
you get sick. He had an addiction. And by anything, Davis really meant anything. He became a pimp. He started exploiting sex workers. In his autobiography, he writes, I was a pimp. I had lots of girls. I started to get money from whores to feed and support my habit.
Didn't his music pay for it?
No, he was spending so much money on heroin. Like he just had to do other things, another stream of
You needed
income.
a side hustle. Listen, I get it.
Yeah, he had a side hustle. He was a pimp. He had lots of girls.
Never knock a side hustle.
He started to get money from the whores to feed and support my habit. I started to pimp them. Even before I realized that what I was doing, I would just call them. I started to get money from them.
So just a junkie. Like, I don't think he needs to call himself a professional junkie.
Yeah, he says I was.
I think like he's given himself a lot of credit.
I was a professional junkie.
Okay, well then I'm, a professional masturbator. Like, let's just...
Is that all you live for? How many days? How many times a day?
Like 5.
5?
My sex
Okay.
toys look like the upside down.
He said that's all he lived for. He has one time I had a whole stable of bitches out in the street
Not a
from me.
stable.
A whole stable of bitches. He said
whole
I had a
stable.
whole stable of bitches out there on the street for me. I took them to dinner and shit like that. We get down on the sex thing too. So he's like, I fuck these bitches too. But then
So did he get AIDS?
No, he probably did. There were people that thought that when he died that he had AIDS.
Yeah,
because
he
when
looks a little AIDSy.
when you get AIDS, you
Looks a
don't
little-
die. You don't die of AIDS. You die of complications. But that wasn't much because heroin takes away your sex drive. I just treated these prostitutes the way anybody else would. I respected them and I would give them money.
Oh yeah, that's
to
how
get-
prostitutes are usually treated. I respected them. I treated them like everybody treats prostitutes.
He said,
with
he's not
respect.
treat them like
Like
they
they're
were just
fucking
anybody.
professors at Harvard.
I respect them, and I would give them money and to get them off in return. So there is addiction. Davis's dad continuously sent him money. Most of it he spent on drugs. So
his dad is sending him money
yeah,
while he's famous and a pimp.
yeah.
God, do you know how bad you have to be at money management?
Or how much
How much
heroin you're
you have
doing.
to do? Or he maybe had a bad drug dealer who was overcharging him because I don't think heroin's that expensive.
But no, he was doing so much heroin.
My aunt did a lot of heroin and then she just died. So I don't think he was doing that much heroin.
No, he must have been. Your aunt wasn't a professional.
She was. She did it for fucking 35 years.
35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. R.I.P. Brittany's aunt.
R.I.P. to a real one.
Yeah.
But she died of complications because heroin like fucks your guts up. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big
The
fan.
only thing I want fucking my guts up is a dick.
Yeah, I'm not.
Sorry.
Oh, one thing about Brittany, she is gonna be consistent, ladies and gentlemen. she's gonna be consistent at who she is as a person, and we love her for that. Don't ever change. So David stole from his friends, including he scored a trumpet from Dark Terry, one of his friends, and one day
Did you just call him Dark Terry? Move
Dark
that
Terry,
mic
yeah,
down
that was his name,
before
Dark
I fucking
Terry.
punch you in the face.
David stole from his friends,
That's like
including
when my dad called that guy Dark Jimmy. Remember?
Dark Jimmy. Yeah, I remember Dark Jimmy. Why don't you
So
just call him
maybe they
Jimmy?
do
That's
call-
his name. Yeah, he stole
Maybe-
he stole a trumpet from his friend Dark Terry. One day
Didn't Davis have his own trumpet? Why the fuck is he stealing trumpets?
because he didn't have trumpets, he stole from Dark
It's
Terry.
his main thing.
Yes, he stole from a man. He stole from a man, Dark Terry. Terry found him on the
Seems
street
racist.
curb. He brought him breakfast and he let him rest in the hotel room. Davis right. He told me when I felt well enough to leave to just lock myself out of the house and lock the door.
And then he never left.
But he said I could stay as long as I wanted. That's how
So he
tight.
stayed for the rest of his
No,
life.
that's
That's where he died.
That's how tight we were. And as soon as he left, I opened up the drawers and closets and I took everything I could and I got the fuck out of there. So his friend let him stay in his house. He's
Yeah,
like, hey
Dark
man.
Terry got fucking ran through.
He goes, stay as long as you want. He made him
by
breakfast.
Jerry Curl Davis.
He made him breakfast. He's like, stay as long as you want. He goes, thank you, man. I appreciate
Dewey
that.
Davis robbed his ass.
And then he stole everything. In 1954, addiction addled Davis. He was fucking up. He reunited with his lover, Juliet Greco. He writes, I reached by being cold to her. Okay. I went into a black pimp role and demand money from her. Later that year, he went
You can
cold
stop
turkey.
doing his voice, or is this?
No, I love when I speak as Miles Davis. I gotta speak as Miles Davis. He has such a unique voice. He has such a unique voice. So he said he reacted to her by being cold to Juliet. He's like, yeah, I fucking hated this bitch. He was being cold to her. And later that year, he went cold turkey, locked himself in his father's house, and kicked his heroin habit. So this all happened earlier in his life.
Okay.
And then he was like, doomed. But by 1958, he was looking for love. He started dating Broadway actress France Taylor. Davis made her quit her role in West Side Story, saying, a woman should be with her man.
These fucking chumps, man. Just because you don't have shit going on doesn't mean the woman can't have shit going on.
A woman should be with her man.
Her man is trash and has a fucking heroin problem and jerry curls. Like,
a woman should be with her man, and he wanted her out of West Side Story, and she left.
So
they married in 1960, and the relationship quickly descended into domestic violence. So he would kick her ass.
Oh, I thought she would kick his ass.
No, he kicked her ass because he was jealous. As men do.
Because he wanted heroin. That's why.
Yeah,
because he was having fits.
Because I think what happens is when you go on other things too.
Yeah, let me speak for the addicts here.
Yeah.
You just fucking find something else to obsess over or be crazy about.
Once you're an addict, you're a fucking addict.
Yeah, so then he's getting high off kicking her ass.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, that's what he would do, and he would just constantly beat her ass.
Yeah.
And despite being a world-class cheater himself, Davis accused Francis of cheating on him, including with a gay male dancer.
Highly likely.
Highly likely.
Highly likely.
That she fucked a gay guy. Have you ever fucked a gay
Miles was fucking a gay guy.
No. Probably.
That's what I'm saying. Every once in a while, you get too much pussy. You got to take one in the ass, you know?
Or give one in the ass.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Have I ever fucked a gay guy? 100%.
Really?
I mean, statistically.
Statistically.
There's no way I have.
It's just a numbers game.
Yeah, there's not one that I know of.
Yeah. So this is all like comes from his childhood. So now they say that Davis, he grew up watching his mother and his father have violent fights, which included his father beating his mother hard enough to knock out all of her teeth.
Like your nerve endings just hanging
Yeah. Have you
out?
ever had like the teeth dream? Mm-mm. Where your teeth are falling out?
Mm-mm. What does that mean? That's got to mean something.
It means something. I feel like that's like a common thing. Oh, curb stomp. No, man. The curb stomp. Oh. Have you seen that scene where the guy gets his teeth knocked out?
No.
It's my nightmare.
People threatened to curb stomp me in high school, though.
And you didn't know what they're talking about?
No, I did.
Okay.
It was one of the football players. He said that I was such a slut. He wanted to curb stomp me, and I went up to his locker. I was like, "Curb stomp me, buddy." And then he didn't. Bummer.
Now you're still here.
Pussy.
And Davis, he seems to continue the cycle of violence because that's what you do as a kid. If you see violence as a kid, if you see violence growing up, you're going to be a violent person. Once after an after party, Francis commented that the music producer Quincy Jones was handsome. You know Quincy Jones.
Of course.
Yeah.
King of Quaaludes.
Yeah. Miles went ballistic. And he punched her punched her at the party. She said, "Before I knew it, I was on the floor. It was the most unbelievable thing that has ever happened to me." He just punched her in the face at a party.
Yeah.
In front of
Quincy Jones. That's wild behavior.
Oh
but
my
hey,
God.
baby, what was it? The 60s, the 70s, the 80s?
It was the 50s and 60s.
It was the time.
Yeah, Francis would regularly flee their apartment and seek safety with jazz musician Gil Evans. She told the New York Times, and she recalled that I actually left running for my life more than once. I was so afraid of him. I thought he was going to kill me. She divorced him in 1965, and in his autobiography, he wrote, "Every time I hit her, I felt bad because of a lot of it really wasn't her fault, but had to do."
No, you don't say, Miles.
He said, because a lot of it really wasn't her fault. Every time I hit her in her fucking face, I felt bad.
Every time I knocked a tooth out, I felt bad because I wasn't the tooth fairy.
Because it wasn't her fault, but it had to do with me being temperamental and jealous. That's it.
He's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
All these guys are fucking losers.
Davis
They're all
seemed
just
to
so insecure.
That said, Davis seemed to approve and even encourage his pals to be violent too. One story has Davis watching singer Billy Eckstine with his approval as Eckstine slapped his girlfriend. So they would just sit around and just watch each other beat their women. He was a prolific philanderer. According to LA Times, his love life in the late 1960s was a series of overlapping encounters fueled by ego, lies that damaged everyone but himself. So he was just like ruining people's lives.
Yeah, he's a mess, and his music is trash.
His music is not trash.
I almost fell asleep when you played it for me.
It's because you don't have an appreciation of jazz.
I don't have an appreciation of people who beat their wives.
No, I know. Yeah, he's an awful
with
person.
Trumpets.
Yeah.
Steals trumpets. Steals Dark Jimmy's fucking.
So Frances got out of there. She was able to get out.
Yeah.
And in 1968, of course, he can't just leave and be by himself. He has to marry another woman and ruin her life.
Right, of course.
So he married musician Betty Marby, of whom he said she was a high-class groupie who was very talented, but who didn't believe in her own talent. She didn't believe in herself. A couple years later, he divorced her. Betty said it was because of his violent temper. So he's not really good. He's not really good at his relationships with women.
Yeah, no, he's not really good at much.
No, he's great at trumpet. Yeah.
An instrument the world could live without.
You just don't appreciate the arts.
Correct.
What do you appreciate?
The fact that it's all over soon.
Yeah. We're going to start getting emails like, is Brittany okay? And I'm like, no, she's not. She's not okay.
Being alive is my life sentence.
Yeah. That's good. During his 5-year break from making music between 1975 and 1980, after his car accident, he became addicted to cocaine.
Hell yeah, dude.
Which, unlike heroin, did not seem to drain his sex drive.
Did he fucking make music then? Because I bet it would have been a little better than that sleepy ass heroin shit I was listening to.
So he did make music. He took 5 years off after his car accident. He took
cocaine and you're not making music?
But he said that cocaine he said it didn't kill his sex drive, which I heard that cocaine
kills boners.
Yeah, it kills boner.
Yeah.
He writes, I had so many different women, I lost track of most of them, and I don't even remember their names.
Yeah, join the club.
His longtime...
I mean, who's remembering names?
Oh, I didn't know this. Listen, you know this. His longtime lover, Oscar-nominated actress Cicely Tyson, nursed him back to health.
From like the Cicely chicken family?
No.
Tyson?
Okay. You don't know who Cicely Tyson is?
No. I meant Tyson chicken.
Can you pull up Cicely Tyson for like the class? She's a great actress. She just died, I think, at 100.
No relation to Tyson chicken?
No relation to Tyson chicken. Not at all.
Do you know who Tyson chicken is?
Cicely
Is it
Tyson.
Mike Tyson?
No, it's not Mike Tyson. She's not related to any of those Tysons.
It's a lot of Tysons to not any of them be the chickens.
Oscar nominated actress Cicely
The most famous Tyson is the chicken.
Is that from that's from Roots, I think. She was in Roots.
Okay, I don't know who this is. Thanks for pulling it up, though.
You need to live your life.
I don't. I've been doing just fine not paying attention to anyone.
This is like pop. She's an icon.
I don't know anything.
I know.
And now's not when I'm going to start learning.
Yeah. Well, you know who Cicely Tyson is now.
No, I don't.
She got him back to health. She helped him get back to making music, and they married in 1981. He repaid her, for her troubles by cheating on her 5 days after the wedding.
God, this guy's trash. I hate men.
He repaid her by cheating on her. She nursed him. She nursed him back to health for 5 years. Got him back on his feet.
I hate men.
They got married.
I hate
men. And 5 days after their wedding, he cheated on her.
He probably cheated her at the wedding. Let's be honest.
Why?
Because he's trash.
Someone asked why. He writes,
put a fucking trumpet up someone's ass.
Feel the sex thing with her anymore.
Oh, this loser.
While people often write off David's his violence as a result of his drug and alcohol abuse, they write it off and they say, well, he was a drug addict and alcohol abuse. Even after Cicely helped him recover, the violence continued. In his autobiography, he wrote, he slapped the shit out of her. Cicely once in the 80s, when she brought over a friend he didn't like, he slapped her in front of the friend because he told her not to bring the woman over the house. And she brought the woman over the house. And
how dare she bring whoever she wants over to her house?
After he slapped her in front of her friends and said, don't bring this bitch to my house, he said, so she never did pull that kind of shit on me again. Miles apparently wasn't much better when it came to being a father. His firstborn son, Gregory, wrote in a biography that Miles which he recalls watching his father attack a girlfriend with a splintered drumstick. Miles regularly
One
brought...
of his kids' girlfriends?
No, his girlfriend. So his
Oh.
son wrote in his autobiography that he would beat... He remembered a vivid story about how Miles would beat his girlfriend with a drumstick. Miles regularly brought Gregory on drug deals as a bodyguard.
Hilarious. This is where it's getting good.
And
A child bodyguard? Come on, what?
And Gregory often...
Dad.
And Gregory often had to fight drug dealers because Miles talked shit. He mouthed off. He was very...
So Gregory actually had to work.
Yeah. Also, very weirdly, Miles once suggested having a foursome with Gregory and his wife. Gregory declined.
Miles wanted to fuck his son.
So what's a I guess he
A
wanted to like...
foursome is when y'all are fucking.
No, I think maybe it was just like a switch kind of thing.
Oh, swinging.
Yeah.
Swinging is different than a foursome. Foursome is like an orgy.
That's what I try to tell somebody.
Yeah.
If you have a threesome, like
If you have a threesome, everybody's playing with everybody. Foursome, everybody's playing with everyone. But if you switch, it's just...
Is it still a threesome? So say it's like 2 girls and 1 guy. The girls don't touch each other, but the guy fucked both girls. Is it a threesome?
No, that's one guy fucking 2 different girls.
Okay, so in
The
order
girls need to be...
in order to be,
yeah.
that's what I said. It needs to be a connection.
Yes.
So cut it. They mentioned it right here. It's in
Okay.
our research.
All right.
That Miles
Well,
wanted to have a
this is-
foursome.
Yeah. It's very important to know the difference between a threesome and a train
So
because we can't really know history.
no, so we've come to the conclusion that Miles Davis sucked, right?
Miles Davis is trash.
Yeah.
At him.
Well, here's a funny anecdote.
It's gonna be hilarious.
That we're not mad about him about. Okay, when President Ronald Reagan invited Davis to dine at the White House, many guests didn't recognize the musician. People didn't know who he was. During dinner, Nancy Reagan asked Davis what he'd done to deserve to be invited.
Hilarious.
Without missing a beat, Davis replied, "Well, I've changed the course of music 5 or 6 times. What have you done besides fuck the president?"
Oh, burn. And then he played his trumpet afterwards.
What? He said that to her. He said that to her face.
That's
to her,
great.
To her fucking face.
Sometimes a bitch needs to be told.
Is that a redeeming?
Yes, actually, that's gonna knock him up a few fucking points.
All right,
in
so
my book.
we've come to the end of the episode. It's my favorite part of the episode where we give our scumbag a scumbag score. So, Brittany, where does Miles Davis rate on your scumbag score from 0 to 100, real quick?
So I obviously don't understand music or how he changed the course of it 5 times with a trumpet. His music is boring to me. The only redeeming thing about him is that he told the president's wife.
What else did you do?
What else did you do to deserve to be here except for fuck the president? That's great. I love somebody who claps back. A pimp, don't hold that against him, but heroin, also don't hold that against him. But he's just like kind of a piece of shit. He's just, again, like another like jealous, these fucking guys who get like a little bit of success in the beginning of their careers and then they pull women out of their own careers, out of their own success because they're so jealous.
He did that multiple times. And
he just looks like shit and he acts like shit and he never turned it around. I'll give him an 86.
86. That's high.
He's scumming, dude. I don't know what he did. I just heard his music for the first time today.
Yeah, bitches, bro. I appreciate Miles Davis as an artist. I think that.
But I grew up under a rock.
You did in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I appreciate him as an artist. The whole turn your back. That's like fucking. I like that because
that's icon shit.
yeah, because when you like, it's like comedy. Like people, I don't do my comedy for anybody else but myself, and that's what his whole thing.
That's why
like,
you're so successful.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing okay.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not fucking JFL New Faces, bitch.
I'm just kidding.
You see how she just fucking just.
I'm on one today. I'm sorry.
I know she is on one today.
I'm
Just like
mean.
good thing I'm used to it. I don't fucking.
I'm a
care.
fucking
Yeah,
bully.
Exactly. I'm gonna go 77 because he did change music so many times. I'm not a really big fan of jazz, but I appreciate the brilliance of what he did and like how he revolutionized music, and some of his elements that he did is still in effect with music today. Like I said, bebop is like a precursor to like a lot of rap music that we listen to. But yeah, he was awful. He's awful. The fact that he lived to 65 is fucking ridiculous to me. And you can't treat women like this. This is fucking ridiculous. So I know the answer to this question. Do we still stand with today's scumbag? Now let's factor in Miles Davis's legacy. This is good. Outweigh the bad.
What? I just am hearing about him for the first time today.
Just completely reinventing a musical genre 5 times make up for cheating 1,000,000 times.
I don't even care about the cheating. It's punching a bitch in the face at a party. Like, that shit's wild.
In public. Like that.
And making her quit her career when she's on West Side Story.
Yeah, she's on Broadway.
Sorry, she's flexing on your ass and you can't handle it. No, we don't fucking stand for him.
She's a black woman that was in it too. Like,
he's oppressive.
He's a piece of shit. He does look ashy all the time.
Yes, and that is a problem.
Have you ever taken a partner for granted even after they help you get off your cocaine habit?
Yeah, I've done coke so many times.
Well, no, have you taken somebody from granted? Like if someone
100%. We all take people for granted. I think people do stuff for us and then we forget how much they did for us and then we walk away because we're a new version of ourselves and we're like, I don't need you. Yeah. And then you like, of course.
Yeah, my grandmother would always say, don't expect for people to do for you what you would do for them. And that I have a hard time with that, especially being in this business, because I try to help people whenever I can. Yeah. And then I
gotta knock that off.
I know, because I become that person when people need things. Like, oh yeah, Mateen will help me. Mateen will do this. Mateen will do this. And I take pride in that, but sometimes I do expect for these people to help me out. And I've had enough people help me out, so I help you out. You do help me out. I love you for that too.
I love you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our episode, ladies and gentlemen. That is our show for the day. If you're enjoying Scumbags of History, please make sure you're not a scumbag and you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't be a fucking scumbag, okay? Subscribe to us for future episodes. We love you for it, and we'll see you next week. I'm Mateen Stewart.
And I'm Brittany Schmitt.
Bye, scumbags.
Bye.
Peace.